to at least validate my feelings.
No! There will be no validation of feelings. Just because you have a feeling does not mean it gets validated. From a broke sugar daddy to a guy who is having a serious identity crisis to someone who cannot let threesomes go and a sperm donor who is really just trying to cheat and never have to give that up. It gets more and more interesting as the episodes go by. But first, if you want to support the channel, drop a super thanks. But if nothing else, comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can see when new videos come out. I definitely appreciate it. We're looking forward to that Married at First Sight coming back in Chicago, which can only be interesting, but no date yet. Probably within a couple months, hopefully soon. But until then, 90 Day Fiance just tides over the intense need to have relationships that seem to just not want to work, and people who don't seem to know what they're looking for in a relationship, or they're chasing for something that they're never going to get. So interesting indeed it is.
For you, baby. Do you like it?
How is this guy broke as he can be, and he just spent $80 on roses for like whatever this 2 dozen probably long stem roses is, but yet he claims to be broke and has no money for anything? It gets more interesting with his ventures.
So far, I have spent over $30,000 hiring a designer.
What the?
And a manufacturer to make prototype glasses.
And he doesn't think that this might be a problem. This is a guy that is chasing for the lottery. There is nothing wrong with innovation. There is nothing wrong with wanting to build businesses. Some of the greatest ideas have come out of people who lost their job or just said, look, I'm putting it all in, and made it work. That's true. But this guy, he's like, this is just one of my many ventures. I don't have a penny to my name. I cashed out my 401k and this is what I got. And I made sunglasses that look like crap. But yet they hang around your neck in a certain cool way. I'm like, dude, I hate to break it to you, but this ain't gonna take off.
And I sent another $10,000 to the manufacturer, and they're gonna be making me 300 pairs of glasses.
Nice. So he took his 401k and spent about $11,000, but he went on to say before that he had sunk about $30,000, I believe it was 30, it was between 20 and 30, something like that, into this, as already talking about people who to create them, then the manufacturer to build them and create a certain amount of pairs so he can get it in the market. So he sunk $30,000. His 401k was $20,000, I believe, so he sunk well over that, and yet he doesn't have a job currently and doesn't know how he's going to pay the bills. But yet, sure, your sunglass line probably will make it work. It's your actions.
You don't have work.
The 19-year-old is more reasonable than him, and she just wanted him for the money. But, you know, obviously now if she stays with him, it might be for love.
He is basically broke.
he ain't basically, he broke.
Go for this face.
He wants to move to Australia. He wants threesomes. It's always about him and it's never about us.
And yet you continue to be like, but maybe. I got news for you. The fact that he does make it all about what he wants is not going to bode well for you in a marriage. That is true. You have to have compromise. You're saying clearly what you don't want. He's saying clearly what he's not going to compromise on. And yet, but I still love him though. So either you're going to compromise or you're going to leave. Those are your options. He's shown that he is not going to compromise on this. And good luck with that, trying to get him to.
Never pray over food, to be honest.
You know, okay.
No. I'm not really a believer.
You're an atheist?
I don't believe in anything.
Okay, so at this point, she didn't even look like she's even disturbed a little bit. So she knows this. Why could this be a problem? Let's see.
And are you okay with that?
Right now, I'm okay.
What? Right now, you're okay. He's made it very clear he does not believe anything. Again, this is the whole thing we're talking about with the compromise. He is not willing to compromise. These are big issues you're talking about. You're talking about he wants to move to a certain place. You're talking about his sexual preferences. You're talking about religion. Huge issues. And yet, what? You think he's going to magically come your way? You think he's going to magically compromise? He's entitled to that. But if you have certain beliefs, it's going to be difficult for you to really make this work and really be okay with the relationship, especially when you start talking about kids and how you're going to raise them.
I know she's trying to protect her, but I'm a really private person, so it's so uncomfortable.
I'm a private person who wants to constantly bring in people into the relationship to have sex with you and your wife. Super private, bro.
How much does it bother you? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest.
10.
The first truth you have ever spoken right there. It bothers her on a level 10 that he wants to have threesomes. Guess what he has said? I'm not compromising. And yet, what do you think is going to happen here?
You know?
When Annie found out about me donating naturally in Australia, I didn't expect that her reaction would be so harsh, but
What?
we're moving forward, it seems like. I want her and I care about her, so I'm gonna do what I can to fight for this woman.
Except give up having sex with other women because you're repopulating the earth and spreading your seed because, I mean, come on. If you went into a sperm bank and saw this guy or met this guy, would you be like, that's the guy. This guy right here, that's the guy. Like, what the hell is he has a white knight complex, like he's coming in to all the ladies who are, their clock is almost run out, and he's going to come and save them. I'm like, dude, all you're offering is the people, the kids you are populating the earth with to not have a father. And yet you think you're white knighting in with no problem. Ain't nothing wrong. Single mothers can handle it and hold it down. But you are actively choosing to do this because what, you're some sort of savior? Dude, I don't know why you think so highly of yourself.
When you have over 70 children,
What the holy hell? Over 70 children. He ain't no father. He may have been the sperm donor. And when I say sperm donor, I don't mean in the sense that he says, like, oh, I'm just donating sperm. I mean, no, in the negative sense of you are a good-for-nothing nobody who all you did was donate your sperm. Just like a father that doesn't come back into the picture, that up and leaves in the middle of the night. You're worthless. And yet she thinks that he should know what it's like to have kids. He ain't no damn father. He's a worthless POS. That's what this guy is.
you should know that kids are hard work. They
How? He's never taken care of any.
need diapers and walks, and the job is not done by itself.
Let me tell you something. If you have kids with this guy, you know what's going to happen? It is going to be done by yourself because he doesn't want to give up his life. He wants to be off gallivanting in Australia, spreading his seed around or whatever the hell he's doing. And he's going to leave you with the kids. And guess what? He's not going to raise those kids. There ain't a lick of chemistry between y'all. I don't know why you're holding it down with him on having you on his point system. It's ridiculous. But wait till you see what your points get you.
Right? You got a point for that. You look sexy tonight. You get some points for that. You have 3 points.
So what
3.
I get for 3 points?
Okay. All right.
That is 1 kiss.
It's 1 kiss. Okay. And yet the most awkward interaction goes to this dumb fool right here.
Yeah, you have my consent.
So we're doing this. We're doing this.
All right, okay.
And then I'm going to put my hands on
Oh my
your
gosh.
leg. Okay, all right.
Let's
So
do
here we
one-
go. Here we go.
Let's do 1 kiss.
I'm going to. How do I do it? We gotta get closer. Okay, wait, hold up. Trying to figure this out. The moment needs to be right. Okay, so come here.
The moment ain't right.
Okay, 1,
Okay.
2, 3.
Would that right there, would that turn you on and want you to be continuing on with this guy? That whole interaction, take it in its totality. Would that make you want to be like, yeah, this is the guy for me? First, can I have your consent to kiss? Now, should you force yourself on someone? No. But what happened to the naturalness of kissing when you feel that attraction and y'all come in and kiss? That's how it used to be. No, this idiot right here is making everything methodical, everything step by step. And you know what takes the romance of it? That. I'm going to place my hand right here. Then I'm going to lean in. Okay, we got to make it right. Dude, you're doing everything you can to not make it right. My God.
These different opportunities.
We're gonna do one here.
It's almost like I have lottery tickets. And I'm one
right
step
there.
closer to having one of my tickets hit.
He thinks of it like the lottery. He's not even thinking of it like a businessman. He's just grabbing at things, trying to make something work, blowing money. Guess what's not going to work? His sunglass line. Guess what he's going to have after that? $0. But yet, he's looking at it like the lottery, which, yes, one person has to win. 1 in like 300 million. I'm sure most of us have bought a lottery ticket from here and there. But if you go in thinking, hey, it's like the lottery, I'm going to win this. Yeah, I mean, if you won it would be great. But he is not accepting the fact that he might have just blown all his money and he gets nothing to show for it.
Glasses.
Baby, maybe we should open a coffee bar.
And then he bring me to this farm.
And he thought this chick with her 10-inch nails was going to want to go out and do it. Wasn't even like going coffee tasting. He took her to a coffee farm where the guy put her to work and said, all right, time to put y'all to work so I can get some free labor. They're going to pay me to come here and they're going to do labor. It's fantastic. This is insane. If I was going to go to Colombia, it'd be a coffee tasting, but I'm not out there farming the damn stuff. Then he decides to do a coffee massage and thinks this is the opportune time to tell her that I'm actually not moving here.
I'm going all in on these businesses. I'm trying every single day.
He just said he has no money. He has no money, but he spent all this money on sunglasses, and yet now I can't move here, but I'm trying every single day to go all in on these businesses. What?
But I don't have any money coming in.
Yeah, because you spent it all.
Is this trip the move like you told me or no?
So, I want everything to work out, baby. Obviously.
But the answer is no. The answer you're looking for is no. And you thought, let me just get her covered in coffee and then I'll tell her what she really doesn't want to hear. Congratulations, you're an idiot.
The perfect happily ever after fairy tale. And I'm not going to stop for nothing until I get to where I need to be.
Or until she finds herself another person who actually has money and buys her all the things she wants because you're broke and your businesses fail. There could be that.
It's part of our story when it's part of our story, right?
It was part, but you need to know that Douglas actually is the past, and Aaliyah is the present, and that's it.
Yeah, dude, you ain't gonna get what you want. I don't know why you're fighting with yourself. I don't know why you're fighting with yourself for what was in the past that this guy clearly isn't going to go back to. He's clearly not going back to Douglas. He's sticking around with the whole Aaliyah thing, so what are you doing here? You're trying to make something work that ain't gonna work for you. Leave.
I'm the same person that you met. The only thing that...
Not exactly. Well, right now at least, maybe, with all the exception of all the accessories and clothes and whatnot.
That channel was like the external part and the name, and that's my choice.
Until you start wanting to get all the surgeries, and then everything changes anyway, because at this point, you're just wearing a dress and have long hair. So what's next? Risky surgeries. Is that what you want to do?
I saw how much happier, how much more outgoing you became as Aaliyah. But I also enjoyed and loved the quiet and the shy, the timid, this kind of scared.
Scared might not have been a good word, but he didn't really mean scared.
Douglas, and they're two different personality styles.
Hearing Shawn say that he liked Douglas because Douglas was shy, timid, and scared makes me feel confused.
What are you talking about? See, and he goes on to say that why would you want someone that's scared? That's not what he meant. He meant a completely different personality, a little more withdrawn. It's completely different people. And then you decide to come out as Aaliyah and then say, oh, I'm this outgoing person who's doing all these things that you would never do before. Maybe that's your personality, or maybe you just feel like no one's going to say anything to you if you're being outlandish and twerking out in public or in some clothing store. Could that possibly be it? All he's saying is you were a different person, and although it's nice to see you happy and outgoing, the other side I could see I like too. That's what was said. Instead, victim mentality comes in and says, well, why would you want me scared? That's not what he meant. Come on.
Loving, caring individual came from the religion.
Okay. Again, she's trying to convince him about the religion thing, which he's made it clear he does not believe.
I don't think the religion is like make you be kind or not kind. Religion is something that is being made up.
And that's his perfectly fine with his reasoning. He's not a Christian. He's not, he's atheist, agnostic, whatever. He doesn't care. And that's fine. That's what he believes. And for him saying that, like, why would she be shocked with him saying it's made up? He believes it's made up. I don't believe it's made up, but he's entitled to his opinion. But yet, she's going to be upset by that.
You're going to have black kids.
Okay.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
You don't care?
I mean, you could be fine with that.
But see, she didn't anticipate that response. Like, I don't care. Like, he was very quick with it. Instead, it's like, well, no. But what happens if?
But what if my little girl come home from school and she's crying because someone told her she looked different? It was...
Kids do that all the time. No matter your race, gender, sexual orientation, whatever you are, kids in school are brutal. They come home all the time and say, this kid said I'm different. This kid said I'm weird. This kid said I'm fat. You know what you do? You talk them through it. You are there for them for support, and you tell them, brush it off. And you don't tell them to start fights. You tell them to protect. You tell them to be a sheepdog. You don't be a sheep. You don't be a wolf. You be a sheepdog. You tell them you go in there and you let it brush off. Names are just names. That's what you say. If someone picks on you, if someone put their hands on you, you handle it. You defend yourself. But you don't ever start violence. You don't ever just pick on people. You be the protector. That is what you tell them. Instead, what are you going to say when someone says they're different? Why do you have to act like this is this big tragedy? You don't. Everyone is different. And guess what? Kids are horrible. They will say you look different. They will say you're ugly. They will say you smell. They will say all these things about any kid. School's tough. But you handle it as a parent and you move on. Instead, she's worried, how are you going to handle this? Well, you deal with it as it comes, for sure. And guess what? He's not going to be. He has no problem with his kid being biracial. That's pretty clear.
This world is full of ignorant people, and you don't have to give attention to them.
Exactly. This world has a bunch of dumb, ignorant people in it. People who just are stupid. And brush it off. It's easier said than done with kids sometimes because they just don't understand. But you tell them you're there for them, and you tell them it ain't nothing. That person ain't nothing. You know what? That person's very small inside. Very, very small.
I would expect him to at least validate my feelings.
No! There will be no validation of feelings. Just because you have a feeling does not mean it gets validated. That is my biggest pet peeve. And yet she's mad because he was like, you know what? I'm going to be there for my daughter. You know what? I'm going to make sure that I tell her, let it brush off, but I will love her no matter what. And yet, why doesn't he validate my feelings? Like, come on, lady. Give me a break with your victim craziness. Like, just because he didn't react whatever way you think he should, this is not going to work. She needs to leave him. He needs to leave her. He can go have his threesomes with some other girl. She can go off and be in a monogamous relationship with someone who sees things her way, but they are not going to work together. No.
Had our first kiss, and that makes me a little bit more hopeful.
How? Did you see that kiss? Like, she is the biggest. She has taken so much copium. It is ridiculous. I don't know what she is trying to do with this guy. Is he like ridiculously wealthy or something, and she's just trying to make excuses? Because my God, that was about for the award for most awkward kiss on the first date goes to this idiot. So what the hell? And yet she's happy about that? Come on, lady.
This girl.
So she is still trying to get him to be like, we're going to step away from the sperm donation thing. Instead, he continues to just dig deeper and deeper on why it's not going to happen.
Girl has a baby. This woman doesn't have a baby. She's running out of time.
I don't care about this.
I'm so nice to her.
So I'm so nice to her, and he's got to ride in and give her that baby. Dude, for the most narcissistic, self-centered person I've ever seen to try to make it seem like he's white knighting in is this idiot right here. Why the hell would this lady think this would ever work with this guy? The show is crazy. There's nothing but madness. None of them are going to work because, you know, when you talk about these couples shows and the ones like Married at First Sight that you actually have some hope for because they're supposed to be having some sort of experts come in and actually do it, but then it kind of falls apart. Okay, I get it. These, there's just no hope for. These are people that are trying to search for something that they're never going to find, that are trying to justify the relationships when the other person is telling them, I'm never going to be that person, and yet they're still trying to stay in it because they're in it for the fantasy. They're in it for what they perceive as the romance, like being over in Italy because it's this romantic place or these exotic locations, or the gold digger being with the older guy who's just a sugar daddy who's trying to be with some young girl, 19, who, if he was talking to her for a few years, you do the math. Underage, creepy and possibly illegal. So many problems going on here. None of them are going to work, but it's going to get interesting as the season goes on. We will continue to see. But make sure if you want to support the channel, you drop a super thanks, or at the very least, comment, like, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications when new videos come out, because we're going to be having Married at First Sight come back hopefully in the next couple months, and we're racing to 1,000. Once we get there, we're going to be looking at that live show when Married at First Sight comes back. So really exciting things in the future. I definitely appreciate it, and I will see y'all next time.